I'm sure you've heard, we are what we eat. Or as Julia Child put it, the only time to eat diet food is when you're waiting for the steak to cook. But it's likely not surprising that you have heard that a healthy diet is important. But how important is it to workplace performance? Today I'm here with dietitian Jeannie Toll from Silverado Creek Seniors Community. And we're going to talk about nutrition, diet, and workplace performance. But before we get started, Jeannie, maybe you can just tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do here.
Yeah, so I'm the dietitian here. My main role is to make sure our clients are well fed and they're healthy and they're maintaining their weight.
Okay, great. And so just tell us a bit about yourself, like what prompted you to get into this line of work
Okay.
even? Yeah.
Yes, for sure. Yeah. So I'm originally from Hong Kong and
Okay.
I'm always interested in food. As Hong Kong is like famous for
Mm-hmm.
the food, like West meet East, like a lot of cuisine, and because of that, I always like to watch cooking show, and I learned that from cooking show, I learned that as what you said, like what we eat is who we are. And after that, and I'm getting more interested in nutrition since then. So after that, I came to Canada and studied nutrition. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
hmm
So let's start off with how important is diet to work performance? And if
hmm
so, how much is it important to work performance?
Yeah, so nutrition is very important to work performance. So there's a study from Brigham Young University that conducted a few years ago that it says employee with an unhealthy diet were 66% more likely to report a productivity loss compared to the ones that are adapting a healthy diet. So you can think about our body is like a car. Like a car, they need the right fuel and the right type of fuel and the right amount of fuel in order to run effectively or efficiently. And just like our body, food is our fuel.
Oh, okay. So saying that then, with an incorrect diet, it's more than likely we're going to be less productive at work.
Yes.
Okay. So on that note, like we all know time's precious, right? So how can I optimize my diet? Like I even work from home and I only have 30 minutes for lunch. So how can I optimize my diet? Like,
So I would say meal planning and prepping is important. Like we all busy during the weekday.
mhm.
So it's important to plan and have a time like ahead of time during the weekend. Always like nowadays there's a lot of like meal prep recipe online, and it will teach you how to cook a big batch of food, and you can portion it as well as freeze it, and you can save it during the weekday, and you can easily just reheat it for lunch, during when you're busy. And the other way to do it is most of us usually cook supper after we finish work. We can try to cook a little bit more so that we have like some leftover and we can save it for like the day after for lunch. Yeah.
Okay. Good idea. So having said all of that, it's great to put it in practice, but do you have any tips for meal planning then?
So according in order to achieve a healthy and balanced diet, the Canada Food Guide recommends to have 1 to 2 vegetables and fruit food and 1 protein food as well as 1 whole grain food like in each meal. Let me take breakfast as an example. Like we can easily achieve that by having a peanut butter with toast, like peanut butter toast with like maybe half a banana. And those are already like grab and go. Like sometimes we may not have time to eat breakfast, but we can always put that in our backpack and we can eat it during our break time as well as maybe during work.
Okay, good. So that sort of helps me, but is there anything more that you can tell us about like meal planning and preparation along with the busy work schedule? Because honestly, half the time I know lots of my friends who work and Uber Eats is their go-to, and I imagine that's likely not the best thing.
Yeah. So What other things I always recommend my clients to do is try to have some frozen vegetables or fruit ready in your freezer. And we can always eat, like, I know, like, we all order delivery, takeout, like, and usually food from like a fast food restaurant, they're more likely higher in sugar, fat content. So it would be nice to balance it out with by adding a little bit vegetables and fruit into it. So for vegetables, you can just heat it up in a microwave for like maybe 1 minute and add some salt and pepper. And so that our whole meal won't just rely on fast food, but we also have some healthy portion food in it as well.
Okay, so maybe on that note, can you give me what are the 3 worst diet mistakes that I can make that will visibly negatively affect my performance at work?
So nowadays, a lot of people like try to skip meals, like with many reasons. Like it can be because intermittent fasting is getting very trendy nowadays, or they don't have time, they don't have, they just don't feel hungry. Sometimes what I heard, but glucose, which is a type of sugar, is very important to our brain. So in order for our brain to function, our brain needs glucose, just like a car needs fuels in order to run. So I would say that's the first things that I would try to avoid, which is skipping meals. And the second thing I would try to avoid is rely on high sugar and calorie dense food, because some people may experience like mood swing as well as having a hard time concentrating when they're eating like too much high sugar food. And the third thing I'm trying to avoid is eating too much. Like as everyone like have experienced that before, like we all have like food coma when we eating too full. So I always tell my client that try to eat slowly so that it gives our stomach enough time to send a signal to our brain and to let us know, oh, we're full. And we don't have to eat 100% full all the time. I would say 70 to 75% would be good. Yeah.
Okay. So that case, and I experienced that a lot in the afternoon, especially like, 2, 3 o'clock. So what are some snack options that can tide me over to supper, but help prevent those midday and mid-afternoon crashes?
Yeah, so some good example can be fruit. Like sometime in grocery store, you can buy those already pre-cut, like a fruit bowl with yogurt. And also some trail mix, like nuts. Those are good protein. And also like hummus with veggie dip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there's a lot of healthy option out there.
So if I have no time for breakfast, can I like rely on those protein bars I buy from, some of those workout places, like the health food stores?
I know that protein bars or protein shake, like the word protein, like it's getting very popular. And protein is important to our diet. But a lot of time, like when we get like those items from the grocery store are pretty high in sugar.
Oh, okay.
If we pay close attention to it. So I would always recommend try to look at the nutrition label and see how much sugar is in like a 1 bar or protein bar. And I'll try to compare which one has lower sugar content and higher fiber content and higher protein. And I don't recommend people to solely rely on that because it has a lot of sugar and we want to get other micronutrients from fresh fruit and vegetables and other food group as well.
Yeah, and I've noticed some of those protein bars have like the sugar alcohols in them, like they're sugarless, but it's mostly sugar alcohols in them.
Yeah, and there's still study around like they're saying like sugar alcohol is not like, first of all, they can like someone will feel more hungry when they consume too much sugar alcohol and end up you're eating more and cause weight gain. So there's some study about that, and there's still study around what are some like like what are some cons of having like sugar alcohol. So
Okay.
yeah.
And what about like making it regular, like having regular meals? Like I've heard it said that if you eat too late, it ruins your day the next day. Like if you try to go to sleep immediately after eating or something, like you have a midnight snack, so some people say. Um, or like you said, skipping meals or having meals staggered throughout the day. Is it best to have a structured meal time or?
Yes, I would say having a structured meal time is the best. It helps like even out our blood sugar. So we always recommend having breakfast, lunch, supper, and snacks between each meals.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I've heard, and I've practiced it myself. I stop eating at 6 and then I eat again for breakfast. So I try to have like I stop eating at 6. Is that like the one of the best practices, or does it matter?
I think it really depends on your work schedule. Like some people work night shift, like evening shift, and it will be best to try not to eat too much before you go to sleep, because sometimes people feel nauseous when they're laying down, when they're still full.
And that leads me to we're close to wrapping up here, but that leads me to another question: is we have in our sector a lot of workers who will cross shift, or they'll work a night shift and then they'll move into day shifts.
Yeah.
And what advice do you have for them? Because they likely have it just as difficult, because they're trying to eat supper when most people are eating breakfast and backwards and so forth, and then they have to switch. Any advice for them?
It's very challenging, and I have family members also work like different shifts. I would say the key is try to bring enough healthy food with you, so you can eat whenever, whenever you have time, like during your break. And because a lot of time is that when we don't have a structured meals, we tend to get a random chocolate bar from somewhere. Like, so I think plan ahead of time and prepare ahead of time is very important.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So once again, I want to thank you, Jeannie, for providing your time, taking the time out, and answering all of these questions, because food is a big part of our life. What was it? Hippocrates said, "Let food be thy medicine, and thy medicine be food," I think is what he said. And so, yeah, it's a big important part of our life, and it's just how important diet is to us. Hi there. We hope you found our first video of our new Ask an Expert series informative and helpful. For this series, we'll be seeking out experts in fields such as emergency preparedness, workplace ergonomics, and more. So what we need from you is input. We appreciate your comments and your input regarding what you would like to see. So please leave a comment below. I also encourage you to check out this video up here on giving effective safety talks. And of course, if you take the time to read the description below this video, you'll find more links about us, the Continuing Care Safety Association, and what we have to offer. We offer such services as on-demand self-paced learning workshops and courses, to virtual instructor-led courses and workshops, and our new member assistance program. Until next time, stay healthy and safe. Remember, you need to take care to give care.